How's it going, guys? Cdew here. As you guys may have seen or heard, we did not do very well in the spring finals. It was a pretty rough weekend for us, and unfortunately, it was something I kind of expected. It felt like the entire 6 cups we had a couple good runs, a couple second places. But it didn't feel like we're the same team, and I feel like all of us are kind of to blame. I would say after we won BlizzCon, all 4 of us definitely took a pretty big break, and I wouldn't say it's like an egotistical thing, like it got to our head, but maybe we thought we were a little further along in the meta and better than we actually were. So the first cup we got absolutely smashed, and I would say that was like sometimes losing is like good motivation. And I kind of felt like that was pretty motivating to me, to try and get better. And then I think, unfortunately, around that time, Sam took a break playing Apex. And I'm not trying to pick on anyone on my team because I really feel like I have the best players. And sometimes motivation is really hard to find. You know what I mean? Motivation is something that is just, sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's really tough. And, Sam kind of took a little bit of a break. And I would say after the first cup, we practiced pretty hard. I don't remember exactly the results, but I feel like we got second place 2 times in a row. So, we definitely put the work in. I think we lost to the boys in the finals, and I think we lost to Snuts in the finals. And to be fair, I feel like those teams are actually better than us right now, 100%. So there's no shame in that. But it really just didn't feel like we were meshing all season. It kind of felt like, even to this day, we don't really understand win conditions as some of our comps. But I feel like if we replayed the season fully motivated with the things that we know now, we probably would have ended up second, maybe a little bit above the boys. Snuts' team is unstoppable. Cloud9, I think no matter what we did, we probably were never going to beat them in this tournament. I think no matter what we did, we were probably never going to figure out how to get past them in points. And that's not something that I'm trying to be negative about. That's something that there's only one team that plays MLD at that level. And there's only one time that... Don't worry about my fingers. There's only one time you get to face them, and that's in a tournament. So you go into a tournament, and you're like, okay, how do we beat MLD? Well, we haven't practiced against MLD because no one plays it, so let's try this. Oh, that didn't work? Okay, I'm in the loser's bracket. You know what I mean? It's really difficult to try and figure out a team that has your number when they're the only team that plays that comp at that level. EU thought they knew how to beat MLD. They were wrong. Cloud9 was just better than the MLDs that they fought. And I didn't expect MLD to be that good on the real. But with that being said, I'm proud of them. I think Chanimals has been an incredible player for so long. I think Wealthy Man and Cubsy are incredible players. And I feel like their past tournament results don't really do them justice. Not necessarily this year, but in general. People talk about Cubsy like he is a druid god. You know what I mean? Literally everyone talks about this guy saying like he's crazy. It's like, people like when other players talk about him when he's at LAN, it's like insane. And then, it's no coincidence that that team hasn't had the same success without Snuts. He was the perfect fit for them. He didn't play, but I'm telling you from a 100% personal experience standpoint that him being on your team brings in so much knowledge in terms of preparation and wisdom on picks and map picks and counter comps that it doesn't matter if he didn't play. He was probably a huge impact to them winning that tournament, 100%. Even if it comes down to just strategy on how they should play MLD. You know what I mean? I guarantee he's a Warlock main. He's saying, hey, Chan, maybe you should try this. Maybe you should position here. Things like that. So I'm proud of those guys. They made NA not look like complete dumpsters. The boys did pretty well, too. But either way, NA was given a huge gift when Cloud9 won. No one was going to pass them on points. Absolutely no one was going to pass them on points. Cloud9 was going to be the team, no matter what, that was going to qualify to BlizzCon from points. So this is leaving a huge opening now for all the other teams. Well, I guess to be fair, the boys had a chance. No one else had a chance. Now it actually feels like we're in a position to get this back. So moving forward, I said if we got 06 at this LAN, I didn't want to compete anymore. It's embarrassing. It's frustrating. I kind of felt like this whole season, it's been low priority for us. And I want to be on a team where they want to win, because I still want to win. It's not worth me playing. It's not worth me playing if we're not gonna try super hard. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna put in 110% effort and you're gonna go there and lose, that's okay. If you go to a tournament with no regrets, that's okay. You try your best and you don't succeed, that's fine. I did that for years. But if you go to a tournament and you don't try, it's a waste of time. You know what I mean? It really is a waste of time. I'm unhappy with, like, I guess, how much time I took off streaming the last couple weeks, when I kind of, in the back of my head, knew that it's like for nothing. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? The last couple weeks, I've been missing every single night stream. And, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, 2 weeks is not going to be enough, but I'm still taking all this time off streaming, which is my job, and I have a family to provide for, to try and make up for lost time that we have had over the course of, the entire season. And, yeah, and I mean, it's, to be 100% honest, I don't want to put the blame anywhere, but, Sam took his break. Trill spread himself too thin. I honestly have nothing bad to say about Mez, because he's probably one of the most incredible people of all time. And Mez is honestly the glue to our team. He tries to keep me in check with my negative attitude, because I'm negative very often, especially considering how frustrated I've been. And that's definitely a huge fault of mine. I shouldn't bring that energy onto my team, and, I shouldn't have went to this tournament thinking we were going to lose, and it did happen. And, I'm ashamed about a lot of things, but I'm also, human, and I understand where I have faults. But it's just, after BlizzCon, we all kind of took our break. And then I would say, for the most part, we kind of started getting our stride a little bit. Where we're at right now, or where we were at for this tournament, is where we should have been at the start of the season, months ago, in my opinion. We all kind of came together. We're kind of like figuring out the meta a little bit, but we're still really far behind. Now, moving forward, I would say, and this isn't 100% official, but I would say Sam is not super interested in playing WoW right now, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? But he's open and honest with him. Open and honest with us. You know what I'm saying? Before this tournament, he told me, like, listen, man, like, I don't know if this is what I want to keep doing. I'll let you know. With that being said, I don't know if we have any plans to replace him. I'm not 100% sure. Because I feel like he's kind of irreplaceable. And I would probably rather go with 3 than replace Sam. So maybe he wants to play next season. I think he just needs a little bit of time to figure it out. And we'll give him that time. Like, right now, basically, I would say we might start preparing without Sam. Number 2, when we lost, I kind of told my team, like, I don't think I want to do this again. And Trill was like, why? You know what I mean? Like, we should do better. Like, we need to do better. And that motivation, kind of motivated me. And I would say, after getting shit on, Trill's motivated. And, basically, we said no more MDI. He said, okay. I asked him if he'd be willing to quit World First Rating, and he said no. But he's going to try and make... what's the word I'm looking for? I guess make, like, preparations to be involved less, I guess, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I feel like we got screwed pretty hard by World First Rating in our first cup of this tournament. It's a lot of preparing, and then it's basically an entire week off of practice. And I think basically he's going to try and juggle the two, which is okay. World First Rating, if he's doing it during the day and he's practicing at night, that's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's really not that big of a deal. You can't fault someone for doing what they love. You know what I mean? And I'm totally okay with negotiating. So that should open up to him being a lot more, active. I guess, in terms of practice. And then, Mez is doing the best he can with his dad's schedule. I do the best I can with my dad's schedule. But at the end of the day, we have some pretty tough schedules, and sometimes it's really hard to put in as much hours as the teams that don't have as demanding schedules as us. So moving forward, I would say that Trill, Mez, and I are going to try and stay together. I would love to play with Sam again if he has time and if he is willing, but we'll see what happens with him. Sam's, I would consider him a good friend of mine. So I would say after this, I would say we're all pretty motivated. Words are words, and sometimes actions speak louder than words. So if it feels like we're failing to practice and it feels like we're not giving it 110% effort, I may bow out and just look for different teammates that are. But I want to keep competing, but I don't want to compete unless everyone is as motivated, I guess, as I am. You know what I mean? You shouldn't. It's kind of like a relationship. You know what I mean? You can't be with someone where you're putting in more than you're actually getting. And that's kind of where we're at now. So I would say it's looking good for next season, at least for the three of us. And I'm confident if we put enough time in, we can be, where we need to be to win. So that's basically that. It was a tough tourney, and we just didn't do what we needed to do well on the real. All right. So that's basically it, chat. That's basically it. I guess I probably missed out on a lot of stuff, but what are the rules for replacing teammates? I don't think we would replace Sam, honestly. If he doesn't want to play next season or for a couple tournaments, sure. It was probably one of the worst tournaments I ever had. It felt like we were getting shit on in most of our war games, and I was very frustrated. Because, when we lose a war game, I'm not upset that we're losing the war game. I'm upset that it just feels like we're just so far behind that, I don't know. I lose a war game, I'm just like, Jesus, man, why the fuck are we here? You know what I mean? It just felt like high school basketball players playing against, NBA sometimes. You know what I mean?
15 to 20 minutes. Could you give me a quick synopsis of it?
Basically, moving forward, we're going to try and stay together, and we fucked up really bad.